Hi there, folks. I figured I'd do another one of these show and tell type videos. I was over to a gun show there a couple of weeks ago and came across a few items, although I gotta admit it was a little bit of a thin selection of deals to be had. But anyway, I always enjoy a gun show, even one which is probably a little smaller than expected. Anyway, let's show you some of the stuff that I picked up while I was over there. Didn't get any ammo at all. There were no ammo deals worth buying, in my opinion. The only component that I purchased was a half can of Old Bullseye, and that was $10 for 8.5 ounces is what I weighed out in this one. And it's an older can, but the powder seems to be in good shape, and it's a little bit of a risk to buy opened cans of powder, of course, but Bullseye should be a fairly safe one. If for some reason another powder got put in this can, you're not going to get into really trouble using Bullseye data with pretty much any other powder, because it's one of the fastest burning powders around, and it looks to be Bullseye in this can even though it was previously opened. I'll load a couple of test cartridges with a known can of Bullseye and this stuff to see if the results line up before I load any quantity. But anyway, that was the only thing I got in the way of powder. The prices on powder were pretty high. Guys were asking for, full retail price for old cans of powder. Anyway, people they get some silly ideas and don't even think of what they asked for primers, because those were just ridiculous. Anyway, that's the only thing that combusts that I got in the process. Picked up a couple of these older MTM case guard slip top ammo boxes. These are the big ones. You can hold like 30-06 or 270, stuff like that. I actually put one of these to use already. I got some 8mm Mauser, some random stuff in it, but I like those old slip top boxes. Those are pretty good. And there was also a Cabela's 50 round 308 size box, so grab that too. Those 3 plastic boxes were, I think I paid $10 for the 3 of them, something like that. Not too bad. In the way of die sets, I didn't really need these too badly, but it was too good a deal to pass up. A set of RCBS 6.5 by 55 Swedish dies. They are missing the decapping pin, which the seller pointed out to me, but other than that, they look to be in pretty reasonable shape. They need some cleaning up, of course, but couldn't really pass those by because they were only $10, so hard to go wrong there. More dies that I don't have an immediate use for, but got a pretty good deal on them. A Lee Loader set for the 7.62 54R or 7.62 54 Russian. And it's a complete set. It also came with an additional little doodad. We got a primer pocket cleaner, so doesn't really look to have been used very much. The powder scoop looks to be almost unused, so not sure if those were used at all or if somebody bought them and just never got around to using them. But in my mind, I paid I think I paid $20 for that set because I bought kind of a package deal, and in the package deal I attributed $20 to that, and also another $20 for this 223 Remington Lee Loader set. This one's not quite as good. I didn't notice this at the time, but it's got a broken decapping pin, so I'll have to do something about that. But yeah, still a pretty good deal, because these things go for, well, they go for about $60, $65 now, at least up here. So $20 for a slightly defective set isn't too bad of a deal, I guess. So that was the reloading components that came from the show. I got one more, not reloading components, the reloading dies, I should say. I got one more item at the show, and it was, no, 2 more items. I got this bullet mold, and this is a 6-cavity Lee 105 grain semi-wad cutter mold. Paid $50 for this, but it came with the handles attached, so the handles alone are probably worth $30, I guess, nowadays. And the mold appears to be serviceable enough. There's a few marks on it, but I hope it works out okay. Yeah, it's a little chowdered up in a couple of spots, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. It looks reasonably serviceable. So we'll see how that works, but 6 cavity mold for $50, and all else fails. The handles were, we'll call the handles 30 bucks worth of that, so hopefully that works out. And I did get a partial bag of lead shot. There's 15 pounds in this bag, and that cost me 10 bucks as well, so that was a pretty good deal. It's always nice to have excuse me, lead shot in small sizes like this. Number 9s are great for loading 410. So that was it for the stuff from the show, but I did order some things or buy some things at an online auction a few weeks ago, and they only arrived a couple of days ago, so let's have a look at those. Alright, so here's what I got. I bid on, I think it was 8 bullet molds, and then I kind of forgot about the auction. I didn't really follow it through, and I came home at the end of the day that it was up to discover I had won 4 of the 8 items. So this is what I got: 4 bullet molds, and all pretty reasonably priced. So let's have a look through them. I find old bullet molds kind of interesting. I was actually surprised that I got deals on these, because molds seem to go rather high, but anyway. These weren't shipped, they were shipped in these plastic bags. Oh, the elastic broke. They didn't have any elastics or tape around them, so the mold blocks were kind of bouncing around in the bags, but they don't seem to have gotten damaged, so hopefully they work out okay. So this one here, this, as you can see, is a Lyman mold. It's a single cavity, which is kind of poison if you're shooting quantities of bullets, but if you're only going to shoot them out of rifles, it's not such a big deal. They don't really drive you nuts making single bullets for rifle calibers. It's tolerable anyway. So this is the 311-466 bullet, and this is a Loverin style bullet, and I've had great success or luck with the 8mm Mauser Loverin style bullet, so it'll be fun to have a 30 caliber Loverin style to try. I'm looking forward to casting with that and trying it out. The mold seems to be in reasonably good shape. Needs some cleaning up. They all need a little bit of cleaning up, but this one's got a lot of lead stuck to it. But anyway, that'll be kind of, should be a fun one to try. Hopefully it works out as well as the 8mm one did, because that's been just a great bullet. Got another single cavity mold here. And excuse me, this is an O-House mold, which I believe is the same as RCBS. If I'm mistaken, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure O-House and RCBS are basically the same thing. And this is a 168S, so a 7mm 284 size. This one's got a little bit of surface rust and it's pretty tight, but the interior of it looks pretty decent. The cavity looks pretty good. So we've got a bore riding nose, and excuse me again, I got a cold. The mold looks to be in good shape, so we'll see how this one works out. I've had really good luck with RCBS molds, and hopefully this O-House works out just as well. It looks like a good high quality mold. And anyway, single cavity once again. We'll see how that works out. Try that in 7mm Mauser most likely. We've got another rifle. These are all rifle caliber molds. This is a Lyman, and it is a 323470. So this is the 8mm mold for the various 8mm. I've got a single cavity version of this bullet mold, and it'd be nice to have a double cavity to crank out a little bit more production without so much more time. A little bit of surface rust on this, but not bad. That'll clean off, I'm pretty sure. The insides look really good. The finish looks really good. A little bit of rust at the top there, but I think that'll come right off. That's just light. So looking forward to using that one that if this one works out as well as the single cavity version, I should be quite pleased with that because it's been an excellent mold. And the very last item we've got here is a little bit incomplete, but that's kind of how I bought it, but I still got a pretty good deal on it. And this is, get it up here, this is an RCBS, and it's a 6.5 millimeter mold, so 26140 flat nose. So this one is actually missing some parts, which is one reason why it was a good deal. And I'll either order the parts or I'll rob them off one of my other RCBS molds and see how that works out. This one shipped, they had somebody left a couple of bullets right in the block. As you can see, it's missing the sprue cutter, it's missing, well, all the things that come off with, you know, the handle pins are missing, and the sprue cutter and the screws and the whole business, it's all missing. But I think I can just borrow them from one of my other RCBS molds and use this one anyway. But it's kind of an interesting looking mold. I have never cast 6.5 millimeter bullets before, so this should be interesting. I'm not sure if these will be big enough for my Swedish Mausers or not. We'll see. Sometimes RCBS molds drop really close to their specification, so they might actually be like 265, 266. Hopefully they'll be at least 266, or hopefully bigger than that, but we shall see. So these were all good deals, these molds. They ranged in price from $20 to $35 Canadian. So, you know, that's for you folks in the US. Our dollar's worth about 35% less than yours, so these were pretty good deals. Of course, there was shipping on top of that, and the buyer's fees and taxes and all that stuff, so it does add up a bit. But I got all these molds for basically less than the price of one new Lyman mold, so can't really argue there. There's a couple of bullets that came out of that 6.5 millimeter mold. I should just go grab a set of calipers and we'll measure those, just to satisfy our curiosity. Okay, got the old calipers, which apparently are going to need a battery pretty soon. Let's see how big the bullets are that came out of this. .265.5. That's a little bit smaller than would be ideal, but yeah, 265. Let's see about the other one. Of course, that can change a little bit with bullet alloy, but yeah, 265, 265.5. So they're, you know, typical of RCBS molds. They drop bullets that are pretty close to the specified size. Oh well, we'll see if they don't work in the surplus type rifles. You never know, maybe someday perhaps I'll pick up a modern 6.5 like a Creedmoor or a 260 Remington or something, and that might be useful there. But anyway, that's in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.